Hey guys, welcome to the last lesson of Unit 7. Our objective today is students will be able to apply the partitioning a line formula to find a given length. Now let's take a look at some key information. If I tell you this line AB is measured 10 centimeters and I ask you to divide it into 5 equal pieces, most of you will be able to tell me, okay, we should just be able to divide it and each piece would be 2. I'll be able to draw 5 lines where each of this will get 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and each pieces will be 2. Now, what happens if I give you a diagonal line and I say, how do you take this line right here and make it into 3 congruent pieces? So think of, how can I divide this? Where would I draw the line? Would I put it here? Would I make it here? This one kind of look bigger than the rest. So I want you to be able to see that we can only do that division whether it's a vertical or a horizontal line. Other than that, we would have to use partitioning. Now, before we do this, partition means to separate or divide. Make sure you copy this in your notebook. A line segment can be partitioned into smaller segments, which are compared as ratios. Most of you know ratio as with the semicolon. I believe they teach you that in middle school. So something like 2:5 ratio. Now we need to take that ratio and turn it into a fraction by doing this. A, B, whatever it is, the first number always goes in the top, and then the bottom number is what you need to add both of them. So in this example, this is the same thing. The first number goes in the top, and the bottom is the 2 plus 3. That's why we got the 5. Now, let's look at this example. It says, given that the points A and B are blank and blank, find the coordinates of P, and it's given the ratio is 1:3. Let's change this into a fraction. So this is 1/4 because 1 plus 3. Now I'm going to show you these 2 methods. The first method I'm going to show you is to just draw a chart. Label 1 X, 1 Y. We're going to start here up here by labeling X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to take the first X1, Y1, and in the bottom we're going to be X2 and Y2. My goal is to find what number goes here, and that would be the coordinates of P, which is what I'm looking at. So the first thing is you looked at, how do I get from X1 to X2? How do I get from Y1 to Y2? In this case, it's adding 12, and in this case, it's adding 8. So that's my first step. Then I'm going to take these numbers and I'm going to multiply it by the fraction that I got from the ratio. So when I do 12 times 1/4, this is going to give me 3, and I'm going to circle this number. And if I do 8 times 1/4, this is going to give me a positive 2. So that's like I'm at my step 2. Then to get the number that goes here, we go from this guy to here. So in order to do that, I'm going to add 2. That's why I circle it here. And from this guy, I'm going to add 3. So when I do this, -1 plus 2, it becomes a positive 1. 2 plus 3, it becomes 5. And notice this box, that's my coordinate P, which is 1, 5. And that's my final answer. Now this is a process. The first thing, again, make your T-chart, put your X1, Y1, X2, Y2, and then we look for these process. There is another way of doing this. We could have done the formula. Now this is a formula that's not given to the region. So let's look at our second example. So we're going to do this both ways. It says given coordinates -2, 4 and B 7, -2, find the coordinates of. So let's look at example number 2, which I'm going to do with the fraction and the formula as well as the T-chart method. So if I change my ratio into a fraction, it's 1/3. And then we're going to go ahead and label X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So the first thing I'm going to do is to draw my T-chart. That's my X, that's my Y. I write my X1, -2 and 4. And then in the bottom it's 7 and -2. So the first thing, and remember, these are the numbers that I'm going to be looking for to be my value of P. To get from 4 to -2, I would subtract 6. To get from -2 to 7, I will add 9. Then I multiply them by the fraction that I got, both x and y. This would give me -2, which I circle, and this will give me a +3, which I circle. Now to get from -2, I would add 3. On the y side, I would subtract 2. This would give me +1 and +2. So the coordinates for P is 1, 2. Now, if you do the formula, you would just substitute it. X is equal to x1 plus the fraction, parentheses, x2 minus x1. And if you plug all of that, you'll get +1. Y equals y1 plus the fraction, y2 minus y1, plug all of those, you'll get 2. You'll get the same exact. So either method will still give us that coordinate P is 1, 2. So it doesn't matter which one you do. The only difference is that with the formula, we do not get that on the regions, and you have to make sure you memorize that. Now, with that said, you have a worksheet that needs to be completed. It will be due on Monday at 8 a.m. Please try to do it early and upload it on Google Classroom. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend, guys.